So today's topic, what is it costing you to stay in a job that you do not enjoy? And I heard somebody say this the other day, and I thought that is a really good question because it's something I talk about a lot, but actually I probably never really phrased it in this way in terms of looking at what is it actually costing you to stay in a job or a career or an environment that you don't enjoy. And I often hear people saying, I hate my job. I dread Monday mornings. I can't wait until the weekend. I wish it was Friday. And the list goes on. Does any of this resonate with you? Are you someone who says that from time to time? Maybe you dread Monday morning. Maybe it's like, oh, I've got to work Monday. I can't wait till Friday. And what happens is you're wishing your whole week, your whole life away. Because think about the number of hours that you spend working. It could be 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, even more hours a week working. And if it's something that you hate, that you dread, that you can't wait until it finishes for the weekend, or that you're just constantly wishing your life away, what is the impact that is having on you? What is it costing you? There is so much to this, and it's a big topic. So I'm going to try and sort of consolidate some of my points about this here today. And it may sound cliche when you hear people talk about do what you love. And you might be thinking, I don't love anything about working. I'm just working to pay the bills and to be able to go on my holidays and enjoy life. The point here is you may not be able to find work that you absolutely love, but I can assure you, if you take time to really explore within yourself, you will find a job, a career that you like, that you get some amount of fulfillment and satisfaction from, at least some of the time. Because here's the thing, there'll always be elements of any role where we have to do something that we don't enjoy, that we absolutely hate, that we dread. There'll always be a little bit of that. It's very unusual that there isn't. But again, it's how we choose to look at things. So ultimately, this comes down to what I've identified as three main things to consider. Number one is the way that we choose to view the world around us and the time that we spend working. In other words, your perspective on life. So when you think about your lens of the world and the way that you look at life, the way that you look at work, the way that you look at your career, the way that you look at your job, what is that? Stop and ask yourself that question. What is the way that I look at it? Am I looking at it as simply a means to an end? Is it like, oh, I have to do this just to earn the money so I can pay my mortgage, the bills, the school fees for the car, the holidays, and so forth? So is it, okay, I'll just do this. So I'm going to spend 40 hours a week just doing something that's like, oh, it drains me. It saps my energy. I come away feeling frustrated and hacked off and whatever, just so I can then pay the bills and have a couple of holidays a year. Like, look at the balance there. This isn't about work-life balance. This is about creating balance in your life as well. And looking at the impact that those feelings, those emotions, and what you're going through day in and day out are having on you. Time spent working, what is that? What does that mean to you? So we get to choose how we look at any situation, any experience, and the things going on around us. You also get to decide, you get to choose how you look at work, whether you define it as work, your job, your career. What is the meaning you put to that? And there's no right or wrong answer for this. It's simply a case of thinking, how can you look at this in the best possible way for you so that it serves you and it's not costing you? And this is, you can apply this to anything in your life, any area of your life. But if you're simply looking at your job as a means to an end, then, and you're not looking at the fulfillment or the motivation you get from doing it, the inspiration, those positive things, and you're unhappy in the job, and you're frustrated or whatever it might be. I'll delve into this in a bit more detail in a second. But any of those things means that it's going to be impacting you, not just in your work, but in other areas of your life. So think about the fact that if you do from Monday morning start wishing for Friday to come along as fast as possible, you're wishing your life away. You're wishing away 5 days a week, like 40 hours, let's say, a week. That's a lot of time that you could be doing something that you at least enjoy. Think about the purpose of the kind of work that you do. What is the purpose of it? Look for the purpose in it. It might be you feel like you're a cog in a big wheel of a big organization, but look to understand, seek to understand, what is the value that I'm bringing in the role that I am doing? However small, minutiae you might feel in that company, that organization, that team, or in the role that you do, there will be a need for you to be there. Therefore, what is the value that you're bringing? Again, it's shifting that perspective in the way that you're looking at things. And look at the impact. What is the impact of the work that you do? What is the impact on the people around you, your team, on your manager, on the wider organization, on the industry, on the world? You know, look at the bigger picture. What is the part that you're getting to play in what it is you do? And these are simple questions you can ask yourself to just slightly shift your perception, or as I say, that lens that you choose to look at your life through, so that it benefits you rather than bringing you down. Ultimately, my first point, as I said, is how you choose to look at this. If you can look at it as, oh God, I've got to go to work today, I hate it, I've got to do this all week, and then it's the weekend. By the time you get to the weekend, you're sapped of energy because of the emotional energy that you've had to invest. And this brings me on to the second point. So it comes down to the recognizing the impact, the cost of staying in a job, a career that really doesn't bring you any joy, any fulfillment, or any satisfaction. So recognize what that is doing to you, what is the impact it is having on you, and what therefore is the cost. What is the cost for you to stay in an environment or a job, a career that you're not happy with? It could be that you're miserable in it. It could be it's a toxic environment. It might be that you're just incredibly frustrated because of how the business operates, or because you're getting overlooked, or because you're not being treated fairly, or you're being looked down upon. It could be that you're not getting the support that you need in the role. It could be that you find, even if you're good at the job, it might be that it drains you. And I'll give you a great example of this, is that, you know, I come from originally an accountancy background, so I'm pretty good with Excel. I call that one of my strengths, so using Excel spreadsheets. But if you said to me, let's go to a job where I am looking at spreadsheets all day and cost models and those kinds of things, well, actually, I know that would really drain my energy. And remember, I'm good at it, but it doesn't mean just because I'm good at it, I should do it all day, or I should look for a job where I get to do that all day. It might be, I don't know, presentations. Maybe you're great at delivering good presentations, but you don't enjoy them for whatever reason. Maybe you just don't like standing in front of a room of people and speaking to them. So you're good at it, but you may not enjoy it. Look at what you do really like and what you don't, and think about how that's impacting you. Because here's the thing, if you're doing, and I go back to my Excel example, right? I could go take a job as a business analyst, let's say, and looking at spreadsheets all day. But I know that saps my energy. I find it draining, even though I'm good at it and I can do it pretty easily and pretty well. But the point here is that I'll come out at the end of the day, end of the week, and I'll be like, oh, and think about the cost to me of doing that. The cost is a drain on my energy. No real joy from it because of that. And ultimately, that will impact my health. It'll impact me physically, emotionally, mentally. And that's what it might be doing for you if you're in an environment or a role that you're not happy in for whatever reason it is. Think about the impact, the cost to you of staying there. The big one for me is health. So many people that I talk to who will insist on staying in a role because for various reasons, sometimes because the fear of change, of moving on. They might have been in the same place for a long period of time and they fear the change and something new, and they're well known in this place, and will they be recognized, or will they do well in the other place? Perhaps they'll struggle, perhaps they can't do the job. All that inner self-talk that we have going on that drags us down, that holds us back. And then we choose to stay without recognizing that that choice to stay is having an even bigger impact on us in a negative way. So as I said, the biggest thing is health. And what I mean by that is physically, your physiology will be impacted by it. Because think about, let me give you an example. Think about when you're doing something that you really enjoy, that you love. So it could be an interest, a hobby, maybe a sport that you play, going on vacation, spending time with loved ones. Think about how you feel physically when you're doing those things. Typically, you'll be feeling a lot lighter and a lot happier and joyful, smiling, and yeah, just enjoying life. So if you now come out of that situation or any of those situations, and then you go into your work environment and you think you can compartmentalize that, that's not happening. I used to live that way. I used to believe that I could compartmentalize each area of my life. What I've now come to learn is that how we do one thing is how we do everything. And if something's not going well in one area of our life, it will impact other areas. And talking about in the context here of your work, if you're in a situation that you're really unhappy with, it's toxic, you know, you're frustrated, you're not getting what it is you want, whether it's the recognition, the promotion, whatever, that will start to really affect your health. It'll affect you mentally. It'll bring you down. It might impact your confidence, having that certainty in yourself, which will impact your performance and the way that you do things. It might impact your motivation. You become demoralized. So many different things. So mentally, emotionally, physically, there is an impact, and it can be a pretty big impact. The impact of it will affect you so badly. You hear about people who get burnt out. They start to get really depressed because they're in a bad situation, a toxic situation. So that is the cost of choosing to stay in a situation, a job, your career, a company that you don't enjoy. And yes, there are things you can do to change that. Of course, we get to choose. Mohammed, hello there. Thank you for joining from Dubai. Great to have you here. So let me know if any of this resonates with you, if you've ever had a situation where you've been in a job or a career where you're like, I'm really not happy in this and I don't know what to do. I feel stuck. You think, oh, it's okay. I'll keep doing it because it pays really good money. And actually, that's all well and good, but you could be doing something that you like, or even better, that you love, that's also paying you good money. The question is, do you stop and actually explore that and look at, okay, what is that? What can I do that I'll at least like, that I won't be waking up and dreading a Monday morning, that I won't be wishing my week away and living for my weekends? And imagine how that will positively impact your health, your energy levels, and the way that you show up in the rest of your life. If you're in a situation right now where you go to work or working from home, as a lot of people are now, and you're doing something that's just like miserable, it brings you down, it just doesn't energize you at all, then you come out of that situation and then you go into your family, your relationships. Think about the energy that you're bringing to that. It doesn't just switch off. You can't just switch when you're doing it constantly, like 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Think about it. It's not just you can't just compartmentalize and think that it's not going to impact the relationships around me, the way that I'm showing up for the people that I love, my health. Those are the two really big things that people often fail to recognize, and because of the money or the security, they will stay. So my question is, what are you doing right now if you're in a situation that you're unhappy in? And by the way, this isn't about just dropping everything and running to something else and running away from the problem, but it is stopping to explore what is going on, what is in your control. And if you've explored different options, whether it's having conversations with a manager, speaking to people about the recognition, the promotional, the career path, whatever it is that's frustrating you, or having more support to help you, or looking to do a different role because you're just not happy or you're not being challenged anymore. If you've explored every option, every avenue, and then you can't go anywhere, you realize there's nothing's going to change, or you're in a toxic environment or in a company, then those are things sometimes that are outside of your control. So what can you do? And it might be apply for different roles in the same company, or it might be looking outside. So I'm not advocating that you jump ship. It's about having the conversations, exploring all your avenues, your options, and then making informed decisions. But what I'm not advocating you do is you stay stuck in a situation where you're unhappy, where things aren't working for you, because it will have a compound effect on your relationships, on your health, and most importantly, and you won't initially notice it. A lot of health issues are caused from stress, and stress is caused by a lot of what's going on around you and the way that we look at things and how we're feeling, the emotions that come up. So if you think about my first point, the way you choose to look at the situation and what's going on around you, the way that the meaning that you give to your work, is it just a thing that you've got to do 5 days a week to be able to get to the end of the week, enjoy a couple of days and have some money to pay the bills and spend on holidays and your hobbies and things? What is the meaning you're putting to it? Or are you putting a meaning to it that for 40 hours a week, I want to be doing something that feels somewhat meaningful to me, that I enjoy what I do? And like I said, it's not a cliche. You look at the roles that I've had, they've been quite diverse. I've been an accountant doing various types of accounting, finance roles. I've worked in recruitment, which is sales, essentially. I've worked in corporate finance, which was incredibly challenging, but really helped me to grow and to develop and learn loads of new things. But again, something completely new for me. It sits within a treasury function. And then I worked as a sales exec, where I got to speak to loads of people, build some great relationships. And for each of those 4 things that I've mentioned, I've loved all of them for different reasons, because I saw the good in the things I was doing. And yes, there were always times when there were aspects of the work that I really dreaded, I didn't like doing, but you'll always get that. So let's be real about this. If we can get to a point where at least 50 to 60, 70%, even 80% of what we do through the week is things that we like, that we can enjoy, it will completely shift the way that you're showing up in the rest of your life, and therefore the experiences that you're having in your life. It will have you feeling more energized, more joyful, more fulfilled, more motivated, inspired, and wanting to be more, to achieve more, and not just plodding through the day just to get to the end of the week or to get to your next holiday. And that is the difference here. So I know you might be thinking I'm really passionate about this subject because and one of the reasons I do what I do now, because I used to look around people in my office environments getting paid really well, because we're all in sales, and it was good. It's great environment. But a lot of people weren't happy. They weren't happy in their job. They weren't motivated. They were going through the motions day in, day out, and living for the weekends, living for those couple of holidays a year. And as I said, I'm not saying go do what you love and then you're struggling because, well, what I really love to do won't pay me enough to live the life that I want to live. It's just about liking things and about changing your perspective of the way that you look at work. You don't have to be, striving to get up the career ladder to be the next CEO or CFO. You don't have to be doing that. Simply doing things that bring you a bit of joy, a bit of fulfillment, maybe inspire you, that help you to grow and to learn. It's the smaller things. So just to reiterate here, the 3 points I have shared with you, I shared 2 out of the 3. So the first one is look at the way that you choose to look at your work, the meaning that you give to it. What does it mean for you? Why are you doing what you do? What are you looking to gain from it other than the financial rewards? Think about the joy, the fulfillment, as I said, and how, what is going on for you in the way you look at it? How is that impacting other areas of your life? And the second thing is, what is the cost? What is that cost of you staying in an environment or a job, a career that you simply do not enjoy? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for you? Are you doing it because someone expects it of you? Are you doing it because you think nothing else will pay this well? Trust me, I took a pay cut. I took a 50% pay cut to go from accountancy to recruitment. And I had just bought my first house, so I was taking a huge risk. My dad was not impressed at the time, for two reasons. Firstly, because I was taking on a mortgage, and secondly, because he helped and supported me to get through all of my education and my accountancy qualifications. It's like, what are you doing? And I would always say that the 2 years I spent in recruitment was the best thing I ever did for myself, both personally and professionally, because it really took me out of my comfort zone massively. And it helped me to grow, to develop, and my confidence absolutely soared. If I'd stayed in accountancy, I certainly would not be here doing this today. I'd probably still be that quiet church mouse, keeping my head down, working really hard, lacking confidence and self-esteem, and not have grown, not have developed. And this is why, again, another cliche of stepping out of your comfort zone is so powerful, so powerful. But that's another conversation for another day. So coming back to this, think about the cost to you of staying in something that you're not happy in, because it will impact your health, your energy levels, your physiology, your mental health, and your emotions. And you cannot compartmentalize that. It will still influence or impact other areas of your life. The way that you show up for your people in your relationships, the way that you show up in, like, you go pursue your hobbies and your interests. Think about why at the end of the week, traditionally, particularly in the UK, people go and they drink. This is pre-pandemic. I'm not sure if it's picked up yet, but pre-pandemic, you go and you drink at the end of the week because it's like, oh, thank God we're at the weekend, let's go drink. Why do you do that? Why is there that need to do that? To alleviate the stress. How can you manage that stress? Well, first of all, by looking at what you do and the meaning you're putting onto that. Why is it you're doing that? So the third point is understanding the types of activities, the tasks, the roles that you do enjoy, or maybe you're good at. But remember, it's, a lot of people talk about doing things that you're good at because then you'll be happy. No, that is not always the case. I gave you the example about Excel spreadsheets. I'm great at it. And I love using them and working with them when, for example, I was in my sales role and I'd go in and use Excel occasionally for like tracking my deals or managing projects and so forth. But if I had to stay all day working on spreadsheets, it would drain my energy. I wouldn't be happy, even though I'm good at it. So it's not always about what you're good at. It's about what brings you joy and what energizes you. So take some time to really, and I always invite clients to do this, is to go through all of the types, any types of roles that you've had over the years, even if it's the ones when you're school holidays or, in between, maybe university and getting your first job or whatever, in a gap year. Think about the tasks. Go down to the granular level and look at the tasks that you've done and what have you enjoyed. Think about things that you really love to do and things you really didn't want to do, and have those two lists. And then look at that list of things that you enjoy doing and think, actually, okay, what kind of roles could I be doing that brings my skill set and my experience, but allows me to do these kind of tasks for, let's say, 50, 60, 70% of the time. Because there'll always be that list of things that you don't know where you'll have to do some of it. But like I said, it's not only about doing what you're good at right now, because you can grow and you can learn. I'm doing things now that if you'd asked me 5, 10 years ago, I absolutely hated them. I dreaded them. Why? Because I didn't have a level of confidence. I didn't have the skill set at the time to do it. What am I talking about? Public speaking. And now I've gone and I've delivered keynotes on big stages at conferences, in organizations, done a TEDx talk. These are things I would never have dreamt of doing. And I'm sharing this with you to have you open your eyes to what is possible. It's about pushing yourself out of that comfort zone and discovering things that you actually could like to do, could enjoy doing, that you maybe haven't thought of before. So my third point for you today is to take some time to really understand the activities, tasks, roles that you've done in the past where you have enjoyed aspects of it, and really go to a granular level of detail. And it could be there could be things that you're average at the moment, but you kind of enjoy it. Go and explore, go and look at, elevating that experience, the skill set, the knowledge, the expertise, so that you can be even better. And then imagine going out there and working in environments, doing what you like, what you love, and the impact that will have on your health, most importantly, and also on the relationships and how you're showing up for the people around you and for yourself. Because believe me, if you're staying in something you're not happy in, there is a huge cost that you are paying to maintain that salary, that security, that comfortable environment of what you know, rather than going to try something new. There is a huge cost that you are paying. So I hope this has been insightful for you today. I just want to quickly recap on the 3 things I've shared. So the title of today, for anyone who's joined halfway, is what is it costing to stay in a job that you don't enjoy? And I hear so many people talking about hating their jobs, being there for the sake of it to get a paycheck at the end of the month, that you dread Monday mornings, or you can't wait until the weekends and your holidays. You're missing out on so much of life. So go look for things that you like. Number 1, first of all, look at the way or explore the way that you look at work. What is the meaning you give to it? How can you shift that meaning to create something that's a more positive, that feels good for you? It's not just about earning money to pay the bills. That's not what life is. Life is about enjoying and having fun along the way. Remember, it's about the journey, not the result. Number 2 is recognizing the impact, the cost of staying in a situation you're not happy in. And as I said, the big ones is, it saps you of that joy, that energy, that fulfillment. And think about how things feel. Tune into that and think, does something feel light or does it feel heavy? Think about when you're doing stuff you love, whether it's spending time with your friends, doing something social, a sport that you love, going to, music, a concert, things, or, going on holiday, any of the things that you really enjoy and how you feel really light and energized and happy. Imagine feeling like that every day of the week, doing something that you like. And then contrast that with when it feels heavy and drawn and it's sapping you of that energy, and it's impacting, as I've said several times, your health. That's a huge thing. And that will then impact the way that you show up in the rest of your life. It's not about trying to compartmentalize 40 hours a week and think, I hate this, but I'll do it because it pays me really well, or because I like the security that my employer offers me, or that I fear change. So I'm going to stay here. And I'm going to sacrifice the cost on my health, on my relationships, on my life, just to get through those 40 hours a week doing something that I hate, or in an environment that's toxic. So looking at perspectives on what work means for you. Number 2, what is the cost of doing something that you're not happy in, you don't enjoy? And number 3 is take time to then explore activities, tasks and roles that you do like. And then look at the kind of roles you can do, leveraging on all of those things that you'll at least enjoy and look forward to going to work. Believe me, it is possible. As you'll hear me say, or you'll read in my post, anything is possible. Anything really is possible, but we've got to do the work. We've got to put in that effort and that time to figure that out and make it happen. I hope this has been helpful. By all means, if you would like to direct message me on any of this, if you'd rather do so, that's absolutely fine too. I just hope you've taken some value from this today. Do share with me in the comments and let me know. And until next time, remember to build your influence, to make an impact, and to be remembered for all of the right reasons by showing up as the best version of you. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you all the best for the rest of the week. I will see you then. Take care.